Yay!
I am very excited, but of course, before we get started, first and foremost, I must do some housekeeping. So, words, I'm having, listen, my
You got
ADHD is
this.
on like high terms, so I'm having some difficulty making sentences. First and foremost, I just want to thank all of you who are here live and those of you watching it on the replay. You are greatly appreciated. Even all of those who you are lurkers, you like to come, but you don't like to say anything, and that's perfectly fine. We are a welcoming
You're
household.
still welcome here.
Yes, welcome to my pagan household. You are welcome. And also, just a quick thank you to the patrons and the channel members, without whom there's so many things I would not be able to do. Many of you do not know this, I think, because I just haven't really said it in a little bit, but a lot of times I get to use some of those funds to do some not only upgrades for the channel, but I also get to use them for like new makeup nonsense bingo, purchasing things from there. So I appreciate all of your support there as well. And after this live stream, there should be a new video going up for y'all tonight. That is literally all I have to do is push buttons and make it happen. So it's a 30-minute odyssey of me talking in like a weird function. So I hope y'all enjoy that. And before we also get started, I have placed in the description box there's a few things, but one of them, most importantly, is a GoFundMe to help the wonderful Thorn of the LGG Spider Community family.
Yes.
Thorn is someone who is extremely supportive and helpful and kind to any and everyone who asks. And as long as you are respectful, Thorn is there for you.
And even if you don't ask, Thorn is there.
Just for you all to know the absolute kindness that Thorn showed me when Texas had the snowstorm. Thorn happened to come through here. And because of my general inability to handle kindness, I could not go to the door because it made me feel awkward. I just couldn't do it.
It was a whole planned drop off. Planned meaning last minute planned, but planned drop off to avoid any interaction for all parties involved. Yes, if you don't know Thorn is an amazing human, a photographer, an artist of all sorts, a makeup artist, like magician with makeup.
And they're also on Twitch.
They're on Twitch, they're on YouTube, they're on Instagram. And they're fundraising for their transition. And if anyone ever deserved that kind of like healing life change, it's Thorn. Like, I know a lot of people and they're at the top of the list. So if you can donate, share. Anyway, keep going.
I mean, that is I'm not always driven to feeling or emotion like that. But Thorn inspires that. Mm-hmm. Thorn displays a kindness that I don't always even understand, and I can actually take it at face value. And to have someone like, this is where I'm going to get like probably slightly teary-eyed and maybe not cry, but like almost cry. We'll see. Cause emotions are weird for me, but the fact that there was so much conscientiousness involved with the fact that I have so much difficulty with being like face to face. I was literally on the edge of this couch, like right here, curled up in approximately like this tiny section.
The furthest from the door possible.
Yes. I was as far away from the door as possible. And Thorn was very kind and working, and Emily was very kind, and they worked together to deliver supplies to me. And I cannot thank you enough. And I just think that everyone should get to live the life in the body that makes them the most comfortable. This is extremely important to me. If you can donate, please do. Okay.
Yeah, lots of emotions. If anybody saw my new makeup nonsense bingo video, which is the last video I think I uploaded, that filming that I talked about it. I filmed so many takes of it, and I got like so emotional, and I was like, it is what it is. I'm not drunk. I'm not anything. It's just that important, and they are that it's been a year and they've been that much of an impact in so many people's lives. So if nothing else, tonight is kind of dedicated to that GoFundMe.
Now that the emotions are finished, because I don't know how to properly transition to anything else, because I don't operate like that. Leave me alone. I don't, I'm a robot. Okay, so today, I keep forgetting about the autofocus and it freaks me out every time it happens. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about you.
That fancy camera upgrade happening over there. Not fancy, but like the fancy technical upgrade with the camera change.
I mean, it's fancy for me, babes. I'm like,
it is fancy.
So a quick hello to everyone in the live chat. There's 74 of y'all. If you could, please like the stream, as that will, I don't know who's honking at whom. And we'll go ahead and get started here. So if you have not seen Mia's Virtual Vanities video on this, highly recommend that you do so. It is linked in the description box. It is a very fun, witty video, and
Mia's in the house.
Hi.
Hi.
Right here. Oh, I forgot that. It tags you. I forgot that shit. I always forget that. But seriously, and just like Mia, I want everybody to please understand that this isn't like we're not going to be bashing any creators or anything like that. And that's something that I never want to have happening on my channel. But we want to talk about this incessant noise that comes up from larger creators who basically since 2016, when all of the lying shilling stopped, because people can shill. I don't give a shit. Shill all you want to.
The shilling will never stop. Across all industries and all things, shilling is never not going to exist. I'm very, very reasonable about that.
Yes, everyone is always selling you something. Please, like, I just want people to get over that. Like, oh, I hate when it feels like somebody's selling me something. Okay, so what do you want them to do? Because back in the day when they didn't want to look like they were selling,
so you would prefer them to just better lie to you, just to manipulate you more. Okay. Like, that's the thing, is that like, that's really what people say when they say things like that. Mia's video is amazing. And I was happy because it's like one of Mia's, I don't know if it's your first, but like, it's basically a get ready with me, a ranty get ready with me. But ranty, I think, demeans the quality of commentary in there. But plus,
like every time, like, I look at Mia's cheekbones, like,
I mean, you're one to talk, I will say.
Yes, but they look like a literal fairy. And that's fine, because I look like the Queen of the Darkness and I look like I'm eating the souls of the damned, which I am, but that's not the point.
And I think you told me a mushroom fairy or like a flower fairy as well. So like, I feel like there's different layers of supernatural wonder.
Oh yeah, there's so many different types of fairies. So like, that's a whole thing. There's so many different types. But this comes up all the time where a creator will suddenly, because the 2016 shill game ended, basically these creators come out and start saying things to the effect of, the beauty industry is dead. Everyone's learned everything. No one wants to learn makeup, bloop, bloop, bloop. And we just really wanted to talk about that in some more detail, because like, my first point on that is very, like, I feel like I want to say this, and I'm trying to find the way to say that is not offensive when people say things like this. But if you have no creativity, especially because you're no longer able to go steal from other creators and not get caught on it, because now people catch you on it. So if you have no creativity and you don't want to steal and you don't want to give credit, which is the bigger part of it, you don't want to give credit because you don't want people to know that you aren't creative. So you can't just steal. Just say so. Just take a break. Just take a break.
There's like, there are a couple of different, like, you could say, you could sum it up. Some of my feelings are like, and I think Mia basically said this, like, just say you're not creative and go. But Audra's adding another layer to the conversation that I think gets talked about more, but I think that layer with this constant complaint, I haven't seen tied together as much, where these bigger creators that often were, you could say, borrowing or being inspired by smaller creators, those moments of stealing content were their viral moments, were their, like, they were the one that took some, Jane over in the corner doing, I don't know, fucking palette bingo back in 2017, and they're like, oh, I could do that, but like, I'll make it fancier or something. And they can't do that without getting called out that it's not their idea. And so they don't even want to, like, it's like
they don't even want to steal anymore.
they don't want to steal it. Or, and like I said, like, I think giving credit, I like, it never to me underestimates a person's creativity, because it's what you do with the idea.
Yeah.
And so be inspired and say it's from so and so, but guess what, also, you could also just say you don't have a personality and go, because 10 different people that I follow can do the exact same tag, the exact same, even first impression with the product I'm interested in. And I will watch them all because I want to hear Mia's perspective. I want to hear Audra's perspective. I want to hear Lauren May Beauty's perspective. I want to hear Abby's perspective. I want to hear Deja Vu's perspective. From like people that have 10 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers. Like, I want to hear their take on this thing.
Yeah.
But these bigger creators that feed this narrative that, like, Yolanda even said, like, I feel like it happens every year, every 2 years, of like, oh, the beauty community is dead. It's like, just say, okay, just say you're pretty and go.
Yep.
Like, because that's also part of it, where I'm like, yeah, you rode the wave because you look like a model, or because you look in some way aesthetically pleasing. And this is not just specific to the person that made this new video, but it's like, okay, so you can't get by on just being hot. Welcome to my life.
Yeah, I mean, like, same. You can't, because like, when you are traditionally pretty, you are white and traditionally pretty, especially back in the day. Like, you didn't have to, and you still don't. You didn't really have to do a lot to make it. And then when you run out of ideas, it used to be fairly easy for you to just snatch someone else's content, make it big, and go on about your business, right? And gain a bunch of subscribers and do all of this stuff. Well, it's a lot harder to snatch people's content now. It's more and more difficult, because the thing is, the creator doesn't even have to say anything anymore. Y'all are doing it. Y'all, like me too, subscribers catch this shit and say something to somebody. We turn and we're like, hey, hi, Tina.
Hello.
But subscribers now catch it. So if somebody sees someone else, like all y'all in here, one of y'all sees somebody take Tina's idea and they don't credit Tina. You see them take Tina's video and they're doing brands I would break up with and brands I would do. And then you don't see anywhere, because you go looking. You're like, maybe it's in the description box. Oh, it's not. Maybe it's in a pinned comment. It is not.
Maybe it's on their Instagram. Maybe it's somewhere. Like,
yeah, so you go looking around and you see no mention of Tina. You being you love Tina, you're part of the fancy fam. You're like, fuck this. Tina's getting the credit. Tina is the one who created this. So they take to Twitter and they're like, Tina, did you see this? All right. So there's no more space for you to take from people in a way that people don't realize that you've done it. Because the second that tweet hits Twitter and Tina sees this, Tina goes to the video and is like, oh, hell no. Maybe it's in there.
And sometimes I'll see people do it. They'll try to do it nicely. They'll be like, they'll be in the comments like, oh my God, Tina the Fancy Face did a video like this 6 months ago. It must be like kismet. You guys have the same, like, on the same wavelength, like, or like things like that, where you're trying to be like, hey,
I'm giving you space to give credit.
I'm giving you space to see this comment and respond. Even if you just respond in the comment and pin it and be like, oh, I totally forgot. I did see this on Tina's channel. Like, let me credit them in the description box. But I just, that is true. I feel like there is this like boredom, which is I think is a good layer to it. There's a
Yeah.
boredom with like old content. The older content is not necessarily getting the same views, and then you can't just easily go and take other people's new content.
Yeah.
Yeah, and pretty privilege. So Floralisa said pretty privilege is absolutely a thing. So many talented folks who are fat, have acne, have a lot of undesirable, according to society, attributes are out there posting, but no one wants to follow.
And that's the next point.
Mm.
Because the amount of times I see every time one of these types of videos is posted, I will see so many people complaining about the big ones and like, oh, I'm so tired of Hinge Beauty and YouTubers. I want you to recommend me somebody else. I need new recommendations. So people give them. And this happens on Twitter as well. People are like, oh, I'm so tired. I need somebody new to follow,
Yeah.
right? I have posted multiple times. I've been like, oh, you should check out these folks. I'll put me in there, Emily, Tina. I'll put Teresa, Lacey. Put all these creators who are in this small. Does anything really happen from it? No. Maybe a couple people trickle over, but most people don't ever go check them out. They don't go look. And this goes with collabs as well, because I've seen it on both sides. I have
I just like to Mia. I need Bo's skincare routine because he looks dewy and silky. He does. I'm just like
he gets
ultimate
a lot
highlight
of from his mom.
Anyway, sorry, but yeah, with collabs as well. Like people are not. They might be in the comments like, "Oh, it's so cool! I'm gonna go check this person out," and then you don't see the same person commenting on the smaller channel's video, which is where engagement is even more important.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, so you were in the comments telling so and so that you can't wait to go watch Audra's video. I don't see you commenting in Audra's comment section saying, I'm so glad I found you through Teresa or whoever.
Because those are some of my favorite ones, because then I see like, oh, they came over, and I always try to make sure that I respond to those to let people know like, hey, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. But the thing of it is, like, I've seen it work both ways, right? Like I've seen it work where I've done a collab with somebody and their channel is smaller than mine, but I see that they're not getting the same love. And then I've seen it work the other way around, where I did a collab with a larger channel and very few people came over to see it. And I'm not saying people have to like, what I'm saying though is like, even if I'm not your cup of tea, you may find other creators through me by watching my video. It may recommend other creators similar to me, but not me. So you may be like, oh, I don't like Audra because Teresa, hi.
Just using names randomly.
Time. So you could be like, I don't like Audra. They're not really my cup of tea or whatever. And then you see a recommendation for Teresa and you've never seen Teresa before. So you just go, I'm going to go check this out. And you're like, oh, well, I like Teresa. Teresa's good. You subscribe there. I feel like people do not understand that even when they say they want new stuff, I'm like, do you really? Because you say this and that you're looking for new creators, but you're also the same people who will complain about the drama in the beauty YouTube era. And that's like 5 people. It's like 5 people causing this issue. And you say you're tired of the drama, but every time like that drama has been over. And you keep saying like, I'm just so tired of the drama. That I'm like, has there been any? Has
like that's the thing. It's like, and I feel like a lot of not all of the creators, but some of the creators that I've seen that have played the tiny violin of, oh, the beauty industry is dead, or like, okay, so the other part of it. So 2 thoughts happening one time. So I think I watched all of it. I watched most of the video we're referencing today, and there was a comment about how like you don't see this kind of behavior in other industries. I'm sorry, but we're not watching other industries on YouTube. I mean, yes, like photography YouTube, for example, something a range of YouTube I've learned about because of Thorn. doesn't have the same kind of drama. But if we're talking industry, not YouTube versus YouTube, but like industries, you don't see what's happening in offices, in
I
boardrooms,
know.
and all of that. So to be like, oh, it's so unprofessional, it's so this, it's so that, you don't see this in like the, other industries. How the fuck do you know? Because there are petty, power hungry, lying, like bitches everywhere. And so to say that it's just something that's happening on YouTube, and like that's one of the reasons why you're turned off from it, really frustrates me, because I'm like, you're just watching that part. So yeah.
Yeah, and I get it because a lot of us were watching that drama, right? Tons and tons of us were watching it. But and we talked about this yesterday, where I was saying
Yeah.
I get what happened. Like when I use collective we, but when we were watching, or I can just use I if it upsets y'all. But I was watching, drama channels, and the thing is, it stopped being fun when it stopped being drama, right? When it
Yeah.
started like actually
It,
negatively impacting people's mental health, when it was,
when it started being
essay,
crimes, when it started being crimes, it was
yes,
no
then that
longer
stops
fun.
being fun. And like, because when it was just like two creators who didn't like each other and they were bitching at each other, you're like, yay, because I like mess as long as I'm not in it, right? But oh
I
no,
think
not me on your TV.
I know. I was like, I'm not highlighting that comment considering that I'm in yellow. Never mind. I'm fine. We look amazing. We look
Me too.
amazing. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I can
Uh,
actually tell because
excuse
I have not been
insecurity
yet. Right?
being
I'm like,
dumb.
I'm having
Just
some with the problem.
uh, but wait, you were on the, uh, but like it's not about people just disliking each other.
Yeah,
It's about criminal activity, and then there's also like the drama, like what we saw with the lipsticks, which if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about,
exactly.
where it's like possible health issues, deceiving customers. Like that's not just like, oh, these two people don't like being in the same room with each other, or like, it's different.
Yeah, it's like it's one thing to watch two people who are like, I hate being in the room with you because I think you are a bitch or whatever. It
Yeah.
is a whole other thing to be in a situation where you realize that like actual horrifying crimes are potentially being committed. And that changes the whole thing. And that's the
Yeah.
thing. There's so much drama. I think people forget that before the drama channels started exclusively almost covering like Jeffree Star bullshit all the time, like we got stuff like Nikocado Avocado. We got things from
Yeah.
other people like Gabby Hanna. I don't even know what the fuck that person does, to be honest. Like, don't come for
No,
me.
I don't
I don't
either.
know what they do. And I'm not. That's not me being not. I'm not throwing
No,
shade.
same. There's a
I
lot
don't know
of
what they do. I'm old. I'm
there's
old.
a lot of big names on YouTube that I don't actually know what they do or why they got popular, I
Yeah,
should
because
say.
I'm old, and they were I am not and never was their key demographic. So like that's gonna be a thing. But I think that when you look at that, like we forget that drama channels were covering all kinds of shit that was happening in on YouTube in the community, and all these other places had drama happening there and bullshit going on. But once beauty YouTube drama started to be like the moneymaker, that's where it went, right? But the same people who say, oh, I just hate all this drama, I don't watch these big YouTubers, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, y'all weird because like as far as I'm concerned, a lot of these creators that you claim not to like still have a lot of subscribers. And what I'm saying is if I'm in a live chat, just like watching somebody's live chat, and there's 2,000 of y'all, and 1,500 of y'all are agreeing that it's awful, and I'm like, okay, so are all 1,500 of y'all unsubscribed, or do you have FOMO in case shit happens and you're still subscribed to these dramatic asses? Like, it's okay if you
Yeah.
are. I am
Yeah.
not mad at you because we're gonna do what we're gonna do. But that's why I say, don't say that the beauty community is dead just because like shit ain't popping because
Yeah.
nobody's like having all this trouble, you know?
Or that the beauty community is like all drama and all like, and none of it's about the actual makeup or whatever anymore. It's like, no, there's so much. Oh, hey Juliet,
Hi.
welcome. Oh, I appreciate you. I will. There's just certain like subscribers, I feel like I'll never forget their names. Anyway, hello. Um,
I'm not either, actually, because I'm old, and honestly, it's rare that I'm up past 11:45. I'm like,
yes.
oh, gotta go to bed.
But yeah, it's just a weird, I just think it's a really like shitty thing to be like, oh, well, to make these sweeping statements that, first of all, like you said, it's literally targeted towards 5, maybe 10 people, and the
Mhm.
community is so much bigger. And I think the other part of like when these bigger creators say that, the other part of it that really annoys me is like, just say that you don't actually want to support other creators. Because if
Period.
you did, you would go searching for other people that are not full of drama so that you could support them, help them grow, do things like that. But I feel like there's this like very classist thing about like I mean, that person doesn't even have like a good quality camera, or like, oh, their editing is so rough. But there's just all these things where, and it's just like people that still watch the really big creators and they're like, it's all drama, it's all this and that. And we're like, here are thousands, hundreds of thousands of great creators that are smaller, and smaller could be 100K, it could be 10K, it could be 100 subscribers. But it's like, oh, but like, I can't watch you in 4K. It's like, no, motherfucker, I'm not filming in 4K for a free job that I lose money in every month based on how
Thank
much
you.
I invest in it. So just say that you don't actually want to watch a small channel. Just say you only want the million plus channels. And then I will say, fine, then enjoy your motherfucking drama.
Yeah, because that's the thing is I'd be like, yes, okay, then I guess the beauty community in that sense is dead. If you have over 1 million subscribers, I, I guess it's dead for you. But like down here in the depths of hell,
Yield.
we're having a
Yield
great
for
time,
beauty YouTube.
right? Like we are having a good time. And fun fact, a lot of us have there's drama that happens down here, but you know what we
Oh,
do? We just don't fucking air it out. That's what we don't do.
we,
We're adults.
we talk to each other, but that's it.
Yeah.
Like we might air it out between warn people, but we don't share it in videos or live streams.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't come on here and share, all the shit that's happened to me and who's fucking with me and who's doing what and what. There's because here's the thing. One, that's not who I am as a person. I don't even like to share like that. People
Yeah.
can piss me off, and I don't because I don't want a bunch of people disliking somebody on my behalf. I think because that's a weird sensation, anyways. I think that that's weird, because I actually just don't understand it. That's not how my brain works.
Yeah.
But also, like, I cannot fathom why I can't just be an adult and not fucking like you. Like, I don't like you.
Yeah.
And I don't have to, and that's fine. We don't have to like each other, and neither one of us have to talk about
Exactly.
it. Like, we don't have to talk about how we dislike each other. We don't have to
Yeah.
start bullshit wars. I don't want my channel growing as a result of some bullshit drama, and I
No.
don't like that Hunger Games bullshit thing, the community Hunger Games. I hate that.
Yeah, because that's what it is. Because the longer that you, first of all, promoting that it's all drama is going to negatively influence smaller creators that are still watching the bigger creators and the ones that are complaining and being like even though you're like, well, they don't like the drama, but also like the drama is what's getting attention. So I should probably like engagement. I should do some drama shit. And it's like, or you could just talk about people that are not involved in drama because
Yeah,
there's a
I mean,
lot of
I'm a
us.
disengaged motherfucker. If I see drama coming my way, I'm like, oop, time to go, bye.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
yeah,
really fast about being like, oh, nope, we're not doing that. Not today. Not in this pagan
yeah.
household. Thank you. Have a good day.
And
Have a good day.
and the second part of T's comment, so T, Nappy Headed Jehovah said, I really do not enjoy the makeup community as the Hunger Games. I just want to watch my friends in my head tell me what they're loving, excited about, how they like to apply stuff. Me basic. But like agreed. I'm like, I love seeing people's creativity. I love just like it's really a lot of times about personality. It's about artistry, but it's a lot about personality. And so that's why the more people that say things like this, the more I'm like, you just don't have any of that, and that's okay. We all
Yeah.
don't have to have all of the things. But I also don't need you to just pull this bullshit statement of like, oh well, nobody's doing anything good in this industry, in this community, because it's patently wrong.
Yeah, because I can literally go back in videos and see the evolution of my makeup style, right?
Yes.
So like I can, which I'm working on it, but I can go back and see the evolution of my makeup style of me being like, I'm work friendly and normal and trying to be like everyone else. Like I can see that move to like this creative thing that I have now. I did this today on a TikTok live. I was just sitting on TikTok having a good damn time. And I put this look together from the Midas Genesis palette. That's right.
Oh,
This shit ain't
somebody
done
asked
yet.
me in the comment. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
Yep.
done fucking with this. This is the Genesis palette. No,
Yeah.
like I started fucking, and so I had a good
I'm
time.
excited. I have that one. It's at my home, but if you can't tell, I'm not home right now. Okay.
No, it's but like, so I feel like I've been spending all of this time being creative. I've been being creative for a long time. I have different ideas. And here's the other thing. I don't think people understand that you don't. I feel like they say that because of things like tutorials. Like people will say, "Oh, I want a tutorial." And then the creator will do a tutorial. It doesn't do well. Unfortunately, there are things that you just have to start putting behind a paywall. And I know it sucks. I get it. I get that people get upset by the fact that there's content that people put behind a paywall. But this is why, because if YouTube is
I love this, by the way.
Of yes.
Jess, Zombie Girlie said, I was never aiming to be work friendly, but I was scared of color. Small creators on YouTube pushed me out of that fear.
Exactly. And like that's exactly how I got out of it. A small creator on YouTube pushed me out of the fear of color. Like
I was like, God damn it, your base is perfect.
But like people don't understand, like if YouTube is somebody's main source of income, you are asking them to take risks that they cannot afford to take. And by main source of income, I'm not talking about, oh, they're rich, right? Because in order for me to just like be able to do YouTube, I literally need probably like $1,800 a month to come out of like doing YouTube, Patreon, and selling merch. That's all I would need. It's like about $1,800. I'd be all right, because that would be my rent. That would be my car payment, and like I would be all right. I'd be like, okay, my mom would probably help me with utilities because that's my mom. But like that would make it okay. So you're talking to someone who's sitting here saying like $1,800. So I can't risk, like if I were in that echelon to where I was making that $1,800, I was making that $2,000.
Yeah.
I cannot risk that $2,000 with a video that no one likes, because it shoves you, especially as a small creator, it shoves you further and further down into the algorithm. So if I drop a video 2 days from now and y'all will hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like T says, YouTube prohibits wild experimentation. You'll be punished in the algorithm if a requested video tanks. Mm-hmm. Because it's not just the one video. So if you didn't see the Fresh Face Sesh live stream that was on Audra's channel, was it 2 Fridays ago with Tina?
It was like 2 Saturdays ago. Yeah,
2 Saturdays ago. It was an amazing conversation, but
it was 3 hours long.
But there was a part where they were talking about, and like Tina, who has 100,000 subscribers, which I'm so excited for you, Tina. Was talking about how like, okay, so if you release something and it doesn't perform as well, that next video you have to nail it. It has to do even above and beyond, like kind of like where you were at, because the problem is that how I perceive it is that, okay, you release a video that doesn't do well. The next video is not going to be pushed by YouTube in the same capacity. Mm-hmm. So it's got to perform better even without that push. Otherwise, you're going to keep getting not pushed and like have fewer and fewer and fewer opportunities to hit the algorithm. So
Yeah.
he doesn't play around. Like, I don't find them very clear with how the things work, but just from experimentation and bigger creators who've been doing this longer, talking, actually being open about, hey, this is my experience. Like, that's what we're saying. And the tutorial thing is frustrating because Audra and I were talking about this and I was ranting about how, okay, so for example, I have the Josh Kelly King has a Church Cosmetics, the Jupiter Jungle palette. Of
And you
course,
have it on your eyes
I have
today.
it in my eyes today. And like it's a very pretty palette, but I will also say these colors already exist out in the world. So if I were to get basically what I'm trying to say is that we always have new releases, and
Mm-hmm.
people will say, well, can you do a tutorial with this new release? And it's like, one, tutorials don't get the views, but two, if I do a look and you're like, well, can you do a tutorial on the look that you're wearing on your eyes? It's like, okay, I have a look on where I have a warm orangey terracotta, and I have a black, and I have a shimmering gold and a pinky shimmery inner corner. There are a million tutorials out there that already use those colors, that already replicate the shape and the effect that I've done. And people, I think there's like I want people to be more comfortable with color and understanding how they, like, you could use the same different palettes and get the same look, and
Mm-hmm.
that creators don't owe you new tutorials with every single release because it's not a moneymaker and because it's actually very repetitive content. And for a
Yeah.
creator, it can be very boring or frustrating. And it can also, in my opinion, kind of tank your channel over a while when every 2 months or every 6 months, especially if you're a creator that's in it for the long haul. And let's say you've been on here for 5 years. Every 6 months, you're doing the same look, but with a new release, you're going to have what? 10 of the same looks as tutorials, or
Mm-hmm.
more than 10 as dedicated videos. And people kind of tend to look at that like literally like, oh, this person does the same look all the time. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, but I was just doing tutorials that people requested.
Yeah, and Tiffany brought in also small creators who do tutorials have a hard time growing. They do.
Yeah.
If they are requested, where are the views? The paywall makes so much sense. So yeah, the thing is, you see a lot of creators, small creators, and even as told by Kenya, she's in
Mm-hmm.
partnership with Patreon. But discuss like y'all get a Patreon no matter what your size is, because at
Yes,
least,
I agree with that.
and that's an answer to I think where what, Popskin, yeah, to like tie all this together. That's
Yes.
another reason that I enjoy having the Patreon, because I can
Yes.
make the content I want to make. It's already paid for, and y'all want to see that. Like I'm not having to make, like I love doing horror content. I love talking about horror. I like talking about media, like all of these things. And I think one of the things I may start doing is, and I don't quote me on this, but there's a chance that I may release like one video from like the month of what I do on Patreon, to everybody. But the thing that's very interesting is doing things like tutorials. I believe even Angie, I can never say the last name,
Oh yeah, yeah, no.
but
Yeah.
and Angela N, but has said multiple times they put them on their Patreon, and so does or they put theirs on Instagram, and then I think
Well,
uh
yeah, that's the other thing is that it's switched. So I think there was a divergence, and this comment I feel it kind of ties into it. So it said, "Hey folks, this is part of the convo. So interesting because I've learned how to do my eye makeup by just watching reviews. They're tutorials by a different name.
mhm,
YouTube, look for reviews, look for first impressions, look for get ready with me.
mhm,
That's what's right now seems to be what's trending. If you want tutorials, TikTok and Instagram. That's what happened. Instagram, IGTV happened.
Yes.
And then kind of Instagram stories also happened. And then
Mhm.
TikTok happened and Reels happened. And that became a place where you could show more of a tutorial step by step thing, speed it up or not speed it up if you're using IGTV. And so I feel like that's the other thing where like I also feel like sometimes creators don't understand, like especially these bigger kind of old school creators. I'm like, you can do things that are not tutorials that satisfy this request for your old school subscribers that maybe make like you're like, well, tutorials are dead. I don't want to do things that bore me. Just do it in a different way.
Just chat and put on makeup. Like I chat and put on makeup all the
It's
time.
the best.
Because like, listen, I it's very like even right now, like y'all may notice this in lives. You're probably now it's gonna make me self-conscious, but I do a lot of moving around and fidgeting.
Yeah.
Being still while I talk is like I cannot do it. It's almost impossible. I cannot gather my thoughts. I don't know how to speak when I'm still. I'm like, ugh. So every time I try to do like a video where I am still, I can't. I'm like,
Yeah.
ah. So that's why a lot of my videos are me putting the makeup on because I'm like, I need to be stimulated, so I can't just sit here and
Yeah.
talk about things. So it's like when you're saying that the community is dead, you're also, belittling all of these small creators who are keeping it fresh. Like there are creators like Tina, like
Yeah.
T, like Laura May Beauty, who've been doing this for quite a while. Abby Williamson,
Yeah.
been doing it for quite a while. But because their content is unique and fresh, people didn't come.
Yeah.
And like literally all these larger creators had to do was go climb down from the mountainous clouds and see what we're doing down here and
Even
say that.
even Mia. So Mia said that would imply having something to talk about, Emily. All shade, honestly. Some of them just don't have anything interesting to say other than talking about products. That's very true. I was so impressed. I mean, from a like intelligence standpoint, I was blown out of the water. But like when I first found, whether or not it was when you first started doing them, but when I first found Mia's art inspired shop my stash, get ready with me's, where Mia would just sit there talking about art history or like the history of an artist they were inspired by or a technique or a moment in history. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, it was just like, what kind of magic is this? And I'm just like, see, you could talk about anything. And yes, I enjoy art. I enjoy learning about it. And so it was the right thing for me. But it was an example of like, I think you can talk about anything and not necessarily it just be about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like Epic Quest Beauty says here, I don't think it's
Yeah.
dead. I think it has changed. Hopefully, something more relatable and organic. This is actually one of the reasons why I wanted to bogart my way into new makeup nonsense bingo because I am completely uninterested in those videos. Like, will I buy it? No shade to anybody who does it. I'm just uninterested in it because I find it boring. I have to, because the thing is, if I want to watch a video about new releases, I have to be able to stay engaged with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a neurodivergent person. So the only time I've really been able to truly do that is when I was watching the new makeup nonsense bingos. Instead of me having the video on and doing my 47th, like as we speak right now, I have the television on and be like right there. It's on mute. Okay, you're lucky I'm not playing a game on my cell phone too while we talk. But like as a normal rule, when I'm watching a YouTube video, I have my TV on. I have a YouTube video of some form here, and I am playing a game and probably watching another YouTube video on my phone. That's the kind of stimulation that I am talking about. When I watched New Makeup Nonsense Bingo, I didn't run into that. I was like, oh shit, let me just mute this. Oh, let me just mute this. Oh, this is getting funny. Let me just mute this too. And before, like, so everything around me had to be quiet so I could watch that. And it's because it was fun and a good time. And I enjoyed it. It wasn't people being like, I don't know. Do I have enough blush? Ooh. So thank you. So it's just like I just got to a point where it's like there's nothing interesting or different happening. It's just people sitting there looking. To me, it's just they're sitting there looking and going, yeah, I won't buy it. And then they come back and they go, I bought it.
Or
And I'm like, okay.
or my favorite and y'all, okay, I have nothing against PR. I fucking love creators getting PR. I want more smaller creators to get PR. But I do love when it's like, yeah, I don't really want this. A week later, oh, I got this in PR. And I'm just like,
Speaking
okay.
of PR, if you think the beauty industry is dead, it's just because all you do is PR unboxings and that ones and the rest.
and 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 so I liked Epic Quest's comment about that new makeup nonsense bingo brings to light the industry manipulation. Like I love shit talking makeup and I like
Yes.
talking about the marketing and the psychology and like I love kind of diving into that. And so I'm glad that like and I know I'm not the only person in the group that does that, but like I'm glad that you appreciate it. But the PR thing also reminds me of the other point that you made, which was when we were talking separate, was that when you say the beauty industry is dead, just say you just want to do undisclosed ads. You want to go back to the time when everyone was like mindless, not even mindlessly, but they were selling constantly and they never had to disclose anything and they never had to even necessarily clarify if it was PR or if they purchased it because that was also a thing that I heard about. So like that's also the part that really frustrates me. It's like just go back to before Here for the Tea revealed the whole Morphe
Yeah.
affiliate link thing. Like that's what you want. I
Before we all
understand.
realized Morphe brushes did suck and it wasn't us. Like, because I
Yes.
had an experience with that where I was like, oh, I guess I suck at makeup. And that's what started spurring my like finger
Oh,
paint on. Because I
and
was like, maybe I suck.
actually, Lacey talked about that on Twitter about having a coworker that was like had complimented their makeup, and they were like kind of like talking about like, oh, I think it was something in effect of like, how did you do that? How did you get that color? And so Lacey was telling them about like what they actually were using, and I think the coworker was like something to the effect of like, oh, my Morphe doesn't do that, and Lacey was just like, oh. First of all, let me tell you all about how Morphe is shady as fuck. And second of all, here are like 6 to 10 to 20 great, amazing brands to buy from. Yes, and
Oh, sorry.
oh no,
I'm
it's
sorry.
fine. No, you're fine. I like that. I think the gold rush is over, but people still love gold.
Yes, because here's the thing. Here's what I will say. I will say that depending on your makeup style, you are either going to be really deep into enjoying a lot of indie makeup, and especially when it comes to eyeshadow, you're gonna spend more time in there. And if you're either a single shadow like fucking beat, you're like, oh, single shadows make me hard, or you love palettes.
And you can't
And
fucking stand single shadows. They
yeah,
overwhelm you, they confuse you, all of that.
and the thing is, I do like to get a palette, but literally all of my palettes, even the ones I love, I use them in conjunction with my singles. There's something about single shadows that brings me so much joy, and they're so sparkly. That's a
It's
fucking
literally what I did today. So if we want to, because I like talking about makeup, I have a couple of singles from a new to me brand. I found Collective Makeup Nonsense Bingo, and then you bought from them the Collective Cosmetics. But I paired it with Jupiter Jungle, which was
yeah.
PR. I am affiliated with Drench, but like this is like a really good palette. The quality is there. The shimmers are shiny enough for me, and I'm fucking picky as fuck. But I wanted different colors. I wanted more because I never have enough. So I pair them together, and it makes me happy.
Yeah, so I feel like because here's the other thing that I find as creators start getting to like 9, 10K and they start being like popular and like everybody loves them and they're like, huh, what's up? Like whatever. As soon as they
Talk
start
talk
being
the
like that,
creator at 9K.
they listen.
You're just I mean, you are one of those
First of
creators.
all,
I just
yeah,
want
but I'm brown. It's not gonna happen. So I'm like, I am a black person in beauty YouTube. Good luck. Good luck with me.
I always have to say my like white naivety always comes out in these kind of conversations, because then you say I'm black or I'm brown, and I'm just like,
that's
right,
honestly one of the
right.
things that taught me I could say whatever the fuck I want to. I was like, I can say whatever I want to. I'm a black beauty YouTuber. Who is going to listen? So, like, who's listening? No one. Who's gonna care that I said anything? No one. Okay, but like, I just find it very interesting that like when it comes back to all of that like old school hiding your sponsorships, pretending that we like all this stuff. I mean, like, and then people will say that, and I'm trying to figure out where I went because my ADHD got a hold of me. But I will say this: shilling. We talk about the shill because everybody always comes and says, well, I just like these channels because I don't like people selling shit to me today all day. I'm like, that's funny that you said this underneath the video. That was what? Sponsored.
Yeah.
I want you to explain. I want you to explain your logic to me.
Again,
The
there is
video was
nothing wrong with
sponsored.
sponsored videos.
The
There
video
is.
was sponsored with money, and the sponsorship started in the beginning of the video. They said, hey, I like HelloFresh. And then you said, I don't like it when you make money, but get your bag, sis. Like, this is what's happening. Like, it's weird. I watch this happen so much that it, like, honestly makes my head explode. I'm just like, how do you tell people I don't think that the work that you do is worth any money, and I don't want you to make any, and I won't click your links, and I hate you so much, all underneath a video that is sponsored content.
Or how there have been creators that have said, and this is more for commentary drama, like, oh, I don't trust beauty creators. They're all sponsored. They all get PR. And they're literally doing sponsored content. And I'm just like, again, fuck yes to sponsorships. I would love brands to sponsor me. I'm going to say that. I'm going to manifest that. I'm not saying what or who, but I would love that.
Yeah.
But that also doesn't mean that, like, it just makes my brain hurt. It just makes my brain hurt. The audience and the creators, like, both sides of it, I'm like, y'all need to get your shit together.
Yeah, because I think people don't realize that, like, when it comes to content creating, I want every single one of the people that I watch to get sponsored. I want them to get some fucking PR, because then that means when I want people like Alicia, Kinky Sweat, the beauty YouTube siren, who can sell you anything, could literally sell you like dog shit that somebody put some purple dye in and made it look good, and we'd be like, yeah, we're buying it. When I want someone like Alicia to spend 179 of their doll hairs on a palette, because I don't want to buy it, I just want to see it. I want her to get PR. I want her to get sponsorships. I want all of that for her. I want to use her affiliate links, because every like little thing that I can do to make her have money so that she can buy the shit so that I can see it, I fucking want it. I want that in my life.
She's
so like
magic and beauty and talks about things in a way that just like this was also off camera conversation talking about how the way Alicia talks about brushes has made you understand the power of them, and that you can understand the appreciation. That's my thing. There's like a level of appreciation, and Alicia is not the only one. I see it in Kelsey. I see it with T. I see it with you, Audra. I see it with Tina. I see it with like millions of creators that I follow. Just this appreciation. But I'm also seeing a couple of things in the chat that I wanted to kind of call out. So Epic Cost Beauty said every creator on YouTube makes money on YouTube. But here's the thing. You don't make money on YouTube until you hit at least 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So there are a lot of us that took many months, mostly years, making content for free, losing money. Until we reached a point in which we were getting a little PR, getting like And then once you actually have AdSense on your account, you don't get paid out until you hit $100, which could be 3 months, it could be 5 months, it could be whatever. So when people are like, "Oh, I don't like that they're getting PR," or "I don't like how many ads are in this video," or this or that, I'm just like, shh, go talk about that on Reddit and leave us alone,
And
okay?
don't forget, like, here's a big thing that people don't realize. You have to maintain that, BT dubs.
Yeah.
You like, so if you hit 1,000 subscribers and you hit the 4,000 watch hours, you have to keep maintaining the 4,000 watch hours to keep getting paid. Because so don't let anything happen to you, especially as a small creator, that pulls you away from creating content and keeping those hours up, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
So
then,
when
yeah.
people say that, like, oh, it's dead, again, it's denigrating the small creators, who, a lot of small creators are working through illnesses, divorces, breakups, like all kinds of like health scares, stress, drama, mental illness, health issues, and they are working through this shit because they know, like, okay, one, YouTube's something that they love, but others are doing it because they don't have a big enough channel. It is their main source of income, especially since this pancake came through. So they can't really afford to take time off. And as a small creator, you can't take time off because your videos aren't consistently making money. Like
Yeah.
Tati right now, still fine, still fine. Those
Mm-hmm.
videos that Tati put up, all that, they're still making a shit ton of money. So you don't have to worry
Yeah.
about that. Still making a shit ton of money. Tati has a long time before they have to do a damn thing because those videos are still making money. A
Yeah.
lot of people are like that on YouTube, have videos that are still making money, and that's fine. So when bigger creators keep trotting out every couple of years, because I don't know what's like they're stale or the drama's stale or whatever it is, they come out and they start telling everybody that it's dead, and they start going through like, well, everybody can like do makeup, and as Mia so eloquently put, like, oh, so you can do everything. You know every single technique to put on your face. You're
Yes.
perfect at graphic liner. You're perfect at cream makeup. You're perfect at the spray makeup. You're perfect at that. You can do that.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Nobody, like, I would never claim that it's dead. I'm always going to say it's going to
No.
change. I even have a video somewhere of me saying, are these brands really dead? Of course, Becca was in there, and it is dead now. That was 2 years ago. Leave me alone. But like,
And I could easily sit here and say, I am over the current style or what's trending. Like, I could say, like, it's dead to me right now. That doesn't mean it's dead. And I just wanted to say, so Mia, and because I know Mia's had like, there's comments, but basically Popskin was like, oh, don't sponsor things, control the content. No, it's all up to the contract and the wording. And the reality is that if you one if you start okay, so my take on sponsorship is that generally speaking there are a lot of good companies. The majority of the companies out there are doing good shit in terms of
mhm,
how the sponsorships seem to go down. The thing that I would say is just start listening to how people say things. Like, even
mhm,
take a moment and watch some bigger creators that maybe you don't love, because like this is something we talked about probably a year ago, how like favorites videos, if you see the same product mentioned in
mhm,
like a number of different creators at the same time, so it's March favorites, and like there's like 10 creators that have all mentioned the same thing, go back and listen to how they say it, because sometimes, first of all, they're not disclosing that it's sponsored, and then you will start hearing the script. And T
mhm.
might have been the one that mentioned this in the chat one time. I was like,
Yes.
you will start hearing those scripts. You will start hearing the same sentences, but maybe in a different order.
Mhm,
That's what I'm like, okay, I don't trust y'all. But if you tell me this is sponsored by Ana Luisa, or this is sponsored by HelloFresh, or this is whatever, and then you go on and do whatever the fuck you want in the rest of the video,
mhm,
or if you say, yes, Drench sent me this palette and they paid me to feature it, and this is why I like it, which by the way, they did not pay me. But if you said something like that and mention it in the favorites in that way, that to me is legit. But there's a lot of insidious shit happening, and I think the sponsored videos are not where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the thing is a lot of people, a lot of creators only take sponsorships that allow them to be who the fuck they are. Because I don't want to take a sponsorship from anybody who's gonna be like, you mustn't curse. I'm like, fuck, what am I supposed to say?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
that's me sitting there like, hello. These are wine glasses that you put not on your fucking, I mean, not on your coffee. You put it the fuck down. This is fucking wine is, listen, I'm, and this is the thing, more and more, Ana Luisa does have a script.
But
And
I
more and
don't
more
I don't think there's
creators,
anything wrong with having a script for the specific part of the sponsorship. I think
yeah,
it's more about when they say, "Oh, you're doing a sponsored video with us, no beer in the video, no other jewelry in the video." No, like when they're controlling the other parts of the content. So that was the only thing I wanted
yeah.
to say. But yeah,
And, no, go ahead.
you don't want to take a sponsorship with a brand that has all these values in place that actually go against
You said values.
like no cursing.
You said
Fuck you. There's nothing wrong with cursing. Shut the fuck up.
values. There's something that just fucked me up about you. You're like, values.
Because that's how it's framed.
Yeah.
It's like we're family here. It's like your business doesn't have values. This is capitalism. Fuck off. And you're not family.
But I will say that one of the things the brief amount of Snitchery's video that I did actually see,
Yeah.
what I'm definitely going to say is I was very heartened and I felt good by the amount of people who happened to show up in the comments saying, I disagree. During this panini, awesome. I actually spent I spent time that I've never been able to spend before playing with makeup. Like I hadn't been able to play with makeup. And then this time has come and I've put on more makeup than I've done in a long time. I've explored more than I ever have. I've been able to enjoy myself. And I think that that's something that a lot of bigger creators don't do. So they'll say, that was the point we were talking about independent makeup. And I think that these creators who get to around like 9,000, and then they start getting up there, they stop supporting indie brands. And the reason that they stop supporting indie brands is because they don't like the turnaround time. Because a lot of these people made a huge mistake. And I will say this to every single beauty creator that I can, please, for the love of all that is holy, do not center your content around new releases. It will tank you at some point or another. It's going to break your bank and it is going to tank you at some point because every video that you do that isn't a new release, it's difficult to get the traction there. It is so hard. Because the only reason people come is because you have your new releases right on hand. You have them the day it went out, you got it ordered and sent it next day, and you have it the next day to show everybody, right? Don't do this. It makes it hard for you to branch out. And I feel like a lot of the creators who have this shit to say are creators who are having a hard time trying to pivot their content. They're having difficulty trying to pivot and just talk about things. Maybe they are interesting, but people started to come for a very specific reason. And it was all of your new shit. And then you just stop having the shiny new things because you wanted to try to do something else. And then you're frustrated because every time you try to do something else, they're not there for it. But it's like, you could tell them. You could tell them you're doing something new and have them respond to it instead of just trying to put it up and be mad.
But even when people ask, again, just like when you get requests, you will get positive comments and then you will see the views and be like, oh, fuck. Because I think the thing that happens is that, okay, so for a long time, you're a new release channel. So you get one new product, you get a new foundation, you do a first impression or whatever about that one product. And that's how you do your videos. You turn it around for one product. As you grow, you're like, you know what? I don't want to do one product. I want to do 3 new releases at once. So I'm going to get there's an eyeshadow palette and a new mascara and a blush. That's now one video instead of three, which now gives you theoretically the space to do other videos at the same time. And so you're like, okay, well, I did a new release video this week. I'm also gonna do something else unrelated that's still beauty but not new release. It's not gonna perform the same because you got this full face of new releases, and then you got, I don't know, something else, even if it's like a tag or something else that sometimes will get good traction. You loaded all your release stuff into one video, trying to give you the flexibility to expand your channel. But people aren't here for that expanded. They're here for new releases. And so you, as you grow, you're like, I don't want to do one whole video on one product. That's way too much effort. That's what I found, is that like,
yeah,
the idea
that's a lot of effort.
doing,
I'm not doing it.
yeah, unless it's a live stream. Like when we
Yes.
have done live streams where we're like, let's both use a new thing together. But that's the thing, is that doing one video for one product, that's a whole lot of labor. And as you do more videos, you realize, fuck that noise. So
Yeah.
you're hitting 10K, 11K, and you're like, okay, well, I also want to do true crime and makeup, or I want to do, so to talk about pop culture and do my makeup, like something else that's popular but not as popular as new releases. And you can't keep that up because now all of a sudden your analytics are just up, down, up, down, up, down.
Yeah, I mean, like for those of you who are new to my channel, like that's one of the things that I've moved to. Like I try to do a lot of my PR as much as possible. Like sometimes I'll film it when I'm like,
Yeah.
I have to be in a really good mood and I'll film it. A lot of times I'm really pushing, especially 2021, to continue doing it live, doing a live stream on my Saturdays, showing you the things I got in PR. So you can actually see it real time. We can play with, we can ask questions, we can have like a back and forth. But to say that the industry is dead and that beauty YouTube is dead means that you just haven't been looking around. Just say that you don't watch any smaller creators, because I get it. When you go to the big five, when you go to the Big 10, you're going to see the same video. You're going to see I bought some bullshit from Shein video at some point. You're going to see the like
you're
huge
see
PR
like,
unboxing.
Yeah.
You're going to see like, hey, these are my 5 favorite blushes. These are my 5 favorite concealers. Is this better than this? You're going to have this thumbnail, like that. Thumbnail, they're like, oh, thumbnail, they're like, oh my goodness.
Oh no, the straight up like clickbait where it's like, and then you watch the video and they're like, yeah, it's fine. And you're just like,
and people wonder about the clickbait. I get it. Like, I don't like it. I'm not going to say I like it.
Yeah.
I get it though, because it counts as a view. But what people don't realize is the view actually has to like monetarily, the view does have to translate into a watch time. Yeah. So it's like, this is why I don't put anybody in my thumbnails that I am not actually doing anything with. And even if I am, I just don't like it because I feel like I don't want people to click me. Like if I put Jackie Aina in my thumbnail, like me and Jackie Aina's face, I would feel like, even though I'm trying to do my makeup like theirs, I would feel weird. Yes.
Like worst palette ever. And then they're just like, yeah, it's fine. It's a neutral palette. And you're just like,
yeah.
I mean, stupid faces. I'm not against stupid faces. Again, clickbait works.
I know.
Clickbait works.
Yes,
but I think it's that line. It's that line of deception.
Yeah.
That's
like,
what it is for me.
Even if I am trying to do my makeup like Jackie Aina, that would be the title, like doing my makeup like Jackie Aina. And I'm just gonna have my face in there.
Yeah.
Because I don't like and I know that it doesn't help me at all. It doesn't help me be successful, but it would weird me out to no end that a bunch of people clicked it thinking that Jackie Aina was going to be there and they're not. Like that would bother me.
Yeah.
Cause then I really couldn't handle the comments of people just being like, I thought Jackie Aina was going to be here. I'm like, me too. No.
Or comments would be like, you're not Jackie Aina. Like, why are you trying to be like, yeah.
Yeah. So I think when we're looking at the era of lying and cheating and stealing and shilling and fun bullshit drama is over. That's going to be over. And I'm glad it is, because honestly, I'm still mad that I bought Morphe brushes. Okay. I'm still mad about it. And it's like 5 years later. It's 5 years later. I'm still mad. If you want to know why I'm mad, it's because like I think that is why my eyelid skin is older than it should be. Because them fucking harsh ass brushes were just so
It's why every new makeup nonsense, if there's a shitty brand mentioned, I'm gonna keep talking about them, like Morphe, or for me, like ColourPop, or other. Where I'm just like, I don't care how old how old the history is. These brands have still done some absolute trash stuff from 5 years ago with creators and otherwise.
So here's the thing. If y'all want to know the secret of my thumbnails, I take them directly from the video. I screenshot them. That's what I do. Because I don't want to pose for it, because it makes me feel awkward. Posing for thumbnails makes me feel weird. If you go far enough back, you can see where I used to like pose for them. I hated it. It made me feel weird. Like I'd be holding up a product, being like, "How big do I smile? Do I smile really big? Wait, are my eyes wide?"
And I'm always over here like, yes, but you are somehow attractively animated in videos. And like sometimes I do take screenshots, but sometimes I also do pose photos because I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna do a finished look of the thing, because when I try to take a screenshot of me doing the makeup, no, no. Bo doing the
He really is giving like supermodel vibe.
Yes.
He's got his little teethus out in the front. I cannot handle it. I'm so sorry.
Perfection.
Like that's the thing. I literally
Mia said it better than me. I don't take screenshots most of the time because I still like having some self-esteem. Thank you.
Here's the trick. So if you want to know the other trick to doing this, when you upload your video, YouTube automatically gives you one. It gives you like a few, right?
But they're still trash if you're not Audra. You looked at them and they're trash.
That yeah. Oh, he's getting dreams because he just had a twitchy twitch.
Oh.
So here's the thing. I use the thumbnail, like I use the ones. So if I could figure out like where in the video that is, I'll just go there and be like, yep, that's perfect. Boop, and like just screenshot it and then put it into the thumbnail pictures. But like I generally don't have the patience, and I really can't fake it. And so like that's why like, and I also do it in the video. Like I make a joke about it, being like, pause for the thumbnail.
But like you also do thumbnails where you're like powdering your face and you're just like perfectly like, and it's not that you didn't pause. You caught that in that moment. And I'm just like, I don't get it. You're perfect. I just want to say.
I should show you all the ones that are like nightmarish.
He just like my screenshots look like I'm
not convulsing, Tina.
I just like that we devolved down to this topic at the end of. See, thank you, T. They're trolling. They are trolling with those auto thumbnails.
Like,
yeah. The moon emoji. Oh, Deja says, see, the auto-generated thumbnails have you look like a moon emoji.
Look, if it makes you feel better, like these are the ones that I don't, you know?
Yes, but everyone has those.
Because what I do is I like find an area where I'm like, oh, I like this area. And I literally sit here like this. And then I check to see. I'm like, okay, that'll work. And I pop it.
I just like.
Mia, shut up.
Anyway, I feel like there's not a live stream with us where there's not some insider secret about shit we do as YouTubers. So the thumbnail game is part of, the tonight's I guess insider secrets.
And like the most important insider secret I can tell y'all is if you do YouTube, it's really important to make genuine friends who do YouTube. Not people
Yes.
who are hateful, not people who are jealous, not people who are using you. It's really important to make genuine friends.
And
And
not people that you just happen to start with or happen to interact with once. People that you actually enjoy talking to. Like,
yeah,
I think it's better to have no YouTube friends for a while than to try to be friends with people you don't actually. If you don't like their content, don't be friends with them.
yes,
That's a tip
period.
I will take. If you don't actively enjoy their content and you're like, yes, what this person is doing, yes, because that was a mistake I made early on where I was like, yeah,
Yes.
they're doing their
You like
thing
what you're doing, huh? You like what you're
and
doing?
they're
Really?
nice.
That's good.
So yes, but I agree. YouTube friends have saved me in a lot of ways.
Yes. And I say that because, especially as someone like myself, I have difficulty communicating. If people know me, then they understand that like I can't. It's really hard for me to do like the small talk, fluffy thing, and be like you can ask T. I asked T a question today about something, and I believe I started it. What did I say? Good whatever day it was because I'm trying to be like neurotypical people. It's very hard. But let me see exactly what the fuck I said because I feel like it was weird. Yes, I said, good whatever day it is. And then I proceeded to my question. I don't know how. Like I'm so bad at small talk. I
but
don't
I'm
understand it. So I
but
quite literally just tell people like if I want to do a collaboration with somebody, if I want to ask them a question, like I told y'all a while ago that with Abby, I sent them a message because I was like asking them something, and I think what I said was, um, I said, good morrow. Yes, I actually fucking said good morrow. I am not kidding. How are you doing? Well, I hope. They have not been able to respond at all because I don't know how to do this. I'm showing y'all the inside of autistic Audra, okay? And I finally said, I'm not good at being a person. I just wanted to ask a question about getting a camera lens and thought you could help.
and Feffy puts it perfectly. You don't have to small talk people who love you. It's okay. That's the thing. Is I'm proud of you for saying, "Hey, I don't do small talk." So that for people that you have become friends or acquaintances with, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Um, but I also wanted to say, so Rebecca says, I feel like I try to connect with people on YouTube and I'm looked on at as an outsider. I have to say that, and I don't remember exactly what size. I know you mentioned your channel in the chat. I think when your channel is still really small, it can be hard to connect with people and connect legitimately because of the social climbing issues, because so many people will just like try to become friends with somebody that has
Mhm.
300 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers or whatever, and use it for a collab and to grow and not actually care.
Mhm.
So I think for me, I mean, I think it's for me it's different because I was an active, well, for I don't know your story, Rebecca, but for me, I was an active viewer for years before I made a channel. So I had been active in small channel comment
Mhm.
sections. And so I think when I finally did make a channel, I definitely had some people that I was friendly with, but I felt like it was like it's about damn time, Emily. Like, come on. But I would love any like that. I just feel like sometimes when your channel is super small, it can be like that new kid at school thing where it can just be hard at first to find genuine connection with people.
And then I have two. Deja said, Audra, at this point, just tip me to go
Lady.
ahead and say the lady and Isabel. No one. Me and Audra. Good morrow.
Tomorrow.
Y'all, like going back and reading that, like, because I don't ever talk
I
about
love this.
autism here. Like, I don't talk about it. And it kind of like gave me like this spring of emotion where like I got a little teary eyed because I realized how fucking painful that conversation was. And I was like, I have to Abby Williamson, if you are watching this, I am sorry.
Also, Yolanda brought a tear to my eye in a different way. Making friends on the platform has had the most profound positive effect on my mental health during the pinchetta. It's the best advice that creators give.
Yeah. Like
And see,
we cannot stress that enough. If you want the beauty industry, beauty YouTube, because the industry is never gonna die. If you want beauty
yes,
YouTube to survive, I would leave you with this. Some tips. We're gonna leave you with some tips.
yeah,
We've already said, if you're in the community, make genuine friends.
yes.
Another one I would say is, oof, good gracious, follow up on recommendations. When people recommend shit, just immediately go check it out. Like, I know it seems weird, but like I will
Hmm.
keep a tweet open that has like
Yes,
a thread just because people have recommendations. Because I never would have run into Teresa of Teresa is Dead had I not, because I'm just weird. And I was like, if I was going to get into a fight, these are the two YouTubers I would take with me because listen, my mind works
that
that
is a good question.
way.
Ooh.
So I had like these, and then people would respond. And then people, like, once I realized that I could use this as an expedition, again, that's how my mind works. Because the
Yeah.
first time I
No, that's
said
a
that,
great question to get recommendations from.
yeah, because I literally went here and just said like, if I was in a fight, these are the two beauty like YouTubers I would take with me, and one of them was like Beauty with Ashley, and I can't remember the other one, right? And as I started, once I realized that from like the first time I did the question, I was like, oh, well, this gets me a lot of recommendations to other channels I don't know exist. So
Yeah.
I just kept doing it for a little while, and I would just
Yeah.
jump those out, and I was like, hell yeah, this makes it so much easier because like then I'm fine. Like people are just giving me information, and I don't have to like seek it out, and I don't have to be weird about
Yeah.
it. Oh, Jess is cracking up
Oh,
a
I love
fellow
this guy.
non-NT person who works with neurodivergent kiddos. Your good Moro conversation is basically everyday communication in my world. Oh,
Oh, I do want to thank y'all for this chat one because I missed I wasn't feeling well last week and I really missed streaming and this was such a good welcome back, but also it makes me think about trying to think of actual tips for like finding and connecting with friends on YouTube because I think it's so important. It's so important, especially having gone through the last year. Like, and it's so important for getting a sense of what the space is like, what you deserve, who's being fucking weird, or who to watch out for. Like, the first time you get PR, how to interact, how to advocate for yourself. Like, it's
mm-hmm.
just, and just generally to have amazing friendships. And like Isabel said it so well of like, your people are out there. The internet has been a saving grace for me in terms of my life, in terms of a social capacity and friends, and that's been a thing for me for decades now, and this last year has only solidified that more. So,
Yeah, I mean,
oh, and
yeah,
that's a good tip from Olivia. If you're looking to support small people color creators, check out who's following one of your favorites. You end up finding so many people. You can definitely like do that little trail of like, oh, let me look at who Audra's following, and then you're like, oh, who's this person? Oh,
and
and
engage in
then
comments. I think I keep my YouTube shit private, but there's specific reasons for that.
yeah,
Um, and like, if you want, like, I'll tell you why. Here's why. If anything happens where I no longer want to follow a creator, I don't need it to be public that I'm not following them.
yeah. No, that's
Because
that's
again, I'm a grown ass person, and I don't want it to be like this whole thing where I've unfollowed them. They don't need to know that I unfollowed them.
yeah.
It's fine. They don't
And
need to know that I unsubscribed. It's fine.
And this is another good tip from Faye. Connect with beauty people that have similar interests, morals, politics that as you that isn't beauty. And of course, everyone carry puts a different weight to these things. But if you know that like I am not going to be able to be friends with X kind of person. And I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that if it's not gender, race, sexuality, religion so much. And religion's weird. But I think that it's fair to use that as a bit of a boundary in terms of
Most
who you
importantly,
actually want to interact with.
as weird as it may sound, chat with people in the comments. You will
Yes.
end up finding people who end up being your friends that you would never have guessed would be your friends. You know, yes, exactly. The TSA people will start drama on your behalf on YouTube. Drama channels will make a 20-minute video out of X creator unfollowing Y creator, and that's why I keep it private, because I don't I like mess, don't want to be in it. So if I have some issue with somebody behind the scenes, the reason you don't know I'm having all this mess is because I don't bring it to the front of the house. It's behind the curtain. And I prefer to fucking keep it there. So if I unfollow or unsubscribe from someone, I don't need it to be like a whole to do, because I'm not going to comment on it. Like, that's the other thing. I'm not going to fucking comment on it. And like, I'm not going to talk about it.
And trust your gut. When it comes to, if you want to do this YouTube thing, when it comes to making friends through that, when it comes to making friends in real life, when it comes to doing anything, like, trust yourself, because the more you do it, the more you practice that, the more it will become second nature, and the less it will be like, oh, but I could be wrong. I don't. Especially, I think if you're a woman or a femme, like, a lot of us have been raised to not trust ourselves, and that's like the biggest thing I've worked. Oh, welcome, Angie.
Thank you, Angie. Welcome to the Spider community.
Yes, but yes. So this is such a good conversation, and I
know,
don't.
we need to have it again.
Yeah,
We need to have it again.
I know, because I get so tired. It's a cycle of like somebody calling the beauty community dead, and then all of us rallying together and being like, "Fuck you! This is not true."
Yeah, because here's the thing: Snitchery has good content. I love their comment. Not love. I liked where they were talking about fillers and stopping getting fillers. I'm trying to be careful about using the word love. It's not that I dislike it. I just like the content, because I feel like love is overused. Anyways, I like their content about like why they stopped using filler and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like we just need to stop this rhetoric. YouTube is dead. It's always going to change. It's always going to change. Like that. Those are facts. It's just we're never going to have the same beauty community that was a year ago, that was 2 years ago, that was 4 years ago. Yes, people are going to be selling you shit because YouTube is a business. Of course, it's a business now. It wasn't a business 10 years ago. You know,
that's true. That's true.
It wasn't quite
for everyone. It wasn't as easy. It wasn't as easy to become an influencer or creator that makes money through YouTube, Instagram, all these things. Whereas before, I felt like it took more time to like become a YouTuber that was making money big time with videos.
And also, feel free to ask some of your small creators, especially when they're doing live streams, you know, who the fuck do you watch? Who do you recommend? We'll help you out. That's it. we apparently, I have to go. Mouth is, ooh, his little gums are dry. He is snoring.
But thank you all for hanging out with us and being so amazing and so insightful always in the chat, and for appreciating the goodness that is Bo, because yes,
he's like twitching and shit.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think that's a great thing from Alex to kind of wrap it up. It's a good reminder that things will change, and the communities you are a part of will not always cater to you, and that's okay. Like, if a community you're in is changing and you feel like you're not welcome or it's not your happy space, there are other spaces, and it can be time for you to move on, or to just diversify. You don't have to leave it behind, but you can find other groups and other spaces too.
I'm so kind. XOXO. Gothic Girl. We'll be live on Thursday on
Yeah,
Emily's
on my
channel.
channel.